Hello again. I'm Henry T. What a pleasure to be right here. March Madness is on. And when March Madness comes, man, I've been a Lobo fan all my life since birth. As I told you many times, I used to sneak in Johnson Gym, sneak in the pit when I was a kid. And I knew the Lobo teams better than anybody. I knew the broadcasters. I knew the stats. I knew it all. Not really showing off, but everybody always knew. Check with Henry. He knows. He studies that stuff. You want to know about the Aggies in 1970? Ask Henry. He's got Chito Reyes stats. He's got Charlie Chris. He's got Jimmy Collins, Big Sam Lacey, and the rest. Wow. How does Henry T know all that stuff? Because I loved it. Man, I love the teams. I love the Lobos, and they played the Aggies. And I was there in front of my TV screen watching the Aggies in 1970 in the Final Four. And every time the March Madness scene comes along, every year in March, the place goes crazy because we've been basketball crazed all our life. And people like Chito and Sam Lacey, all of them, all those Aggies were big in every Lobo's mind, too. And boy, could they play. And we were so proud to be New Mexicans. Even the most diehard Lobo fans, they were over there watching the game. Oh, I'm not an Aggie. Yeah, but you bet. But you are today. What are you doing watching that Aggie game against St. Bonaventure, UCLA? If you're not a Lobo fan today, man, and I love those uniforms they used to wear, the sleeves, the long sleeves, sharp. That maroon against that white. Were they beautiful uniforms? The Pan Am Center would go crazy. The personality of that gym, oh my goodness. Slick. And they had a brand of basketball under that leader, Lou Henson, that was just smooth, well taught. It was disciplined athletes out there, knowing their role. And Lou would open it up with all of them because they all had skills. Chito was a great shooter, but if they wanted him to do more, he could. But coach liked his little jump shot over there on that baseline, gave him the whole baseline to roam. Jimmy Collins could, and then he had the whole court to roam. Sam Lacey was the monster inside. Charlie would bring it down and distribute the ball. What a team. That team went to the Final Four. And I've had suggested to me so often that team, all the starters for sure, their coach is already in. Sam Lacey's in the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, and Jimmy Collins is there, and Charlie, and now we need to get one more of those starters in there. And you know who I'm talking about, our great friend, Chito Reyes. And he joins us right now, looking sharp out there in his office in California. Chito, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Good morning, Henry. How are you doing, man? Thank you for that nice introduction. And hi to everybody in New Mexico and all over, all your fans, Henry. Glad to be on your show.
Man, people love getting you on the show, Chito. I mean, really, I get requested that all the time. When are you going to have Chito on again? Man, by demand. Okay,
Well,
right.
hey,
Have at me.
I think they're all my relatives that are asking you. We have a lot of relatives in New Mexico.
Not just the Aggie Nation, the Chito Reyes Nation. Following
Well,
that there.
well, thank you, Henry. You know, it's always a pleasure to be here with you, and you know, this is a special time of the year for all of us. You know, as the ball players, but also as the community and Las Cruces and the university. And March Madness is oh so special, and it's an honor. You know, really, people call you. You start hearing, getting phone calls from people all over the world. Actually, I had a friend of mine that went to high school with me, and he's in Australia, and he every year he calls me up to remind me that he saw that game, and so it's just special, Henry. It's just I think it meant a lot to the not only to the university but to the state and to Las Cruces and all everybody from the area and stuff because I guess you know I had one of my teammates tell me we had a reunion and he would always mention he said you know what we did was special but as the years go by the more special it becomes and it's true because people never forgot that.
You know, and it's hard to accomplish. It's so rare. And any community that can boast a little bit and say, we were in the Final Four, you get everybody's undivided attention. Wow, you were in the Final Four? And then you got the story to tell. Man, this is no rhetorical question, and it's not a trick question. How many times at a party or get together you had to tell that exciting story, Chito?
Yeah. You know, it's funny because not the fact that you are in the Final Four. You think about that, Henry. Over at the beginning of the year, you had over 800, even more. So now, major Division One universities, colleges that are starting their season. Everybody's got great expectations for the season, and as the year goes by, they start being eliminated. And so, from the 800 or 900, whatever they are at the beginning, you start eliminating through tournaments and whatever conference tournaments. And even to say that you're part of the 64 field at the end of the year, it's quite an honor. That's why you always see everybody now they see the tournament now. You see all these athletes jumping up and down when they win their tournament because they know they're going to go to the big dance. They know they're going to, it's like the epitome for a basketball player to to get on stage like that because that's something amazing that like I said as a basketball player the March Madness it's the Super Bowl of college basketball and I've seen throughout the years I always sometimes on account that we have the social media you see other colleges like I was just watching a documentary on Loyola Chicago and they made it to the Final Four. They were big underdogs, and other they didn't win it, but they were in it, and they still have reunions, and to them it's like the most amazing thing, which it is, Henry, and we are so blessed, and yeah, we were very fortunate that that we were able to accomplish that, but it's not like I said we won the winning ticket, like if we bought this ticket and we scratched off and we got to go to the Final Four. We worked for it. We worked hard, and I remember there was no such thing as Christmas Eve taking off, or Christmas Day taking off, or New Year's Day taking off. Those are hard days of practice. Those are hardest days that we had to practice in, and nobody complained. Coach Hampton had us on, yeah, under his wing, and he knew what he was doing. And I think above everything else, as a credit to his family and all the coaching staff and all the ones that we had every year. It's quite an honor. And actually, man, to me, like you say, I get calls from all over the place at this time of the year. But it's not just me. All the other fellas get the same thing. Hey, man, you were in the Final Four. You show your ring, and then wow, what's this? But to them, to a lot of people who understand the game and the time of the year this is, it's quite an amazing feat. And not only were we blessed, we were lucky, but we worked hard, Henry. We worked hard for everything that, and to be in the right place at the right time and work hard. We, not just because that was on that team, but we had a pretty awesome team. So it all came together for us under the coach and the talent and our efforts that made it possible to get into that final stage, the Super Bowl of college basketball.
Amen. Well, two of your buddies have gone on to heaven to play with the Lord's team, Sam Lacey and Jimmy Collins, and great players, great friends of yours.
Yeah.
We have the great pleasure of not too long ago sharing this TV stage with Jimmy, and the praise he gave you, the praise you gave him, the camaraderie you showed in front of the country, because now these computers take us around the world. And so you were appreciated worldwide stage. You and Henry T went worldwide, Chito.
Yeah. Back then, there was no such thing as the social media. And you forgot to mention that we lost Coach Henson too.
Oh,
we lost Coach Henson and lost Sam and Jimmy, and it's funny because just the day before yesterday I ran into this friend of mine and he mentioned something, and he mentioned Jimmy's name and Sam's name, and it's like I want to pick up the phone and call them because we're that close, but unfortunately we lost them. I know we are, it's hard to explain to a lot of people that it's not just we were teammates, we were brothers, and we helped each other. And I think I was glad to see Jimmy. Can you imagine seeing your partners and them being in the glory, them being honored, them being, all the acclaims that they've had. And like I said, throughout the city, throughout the university and in New Mexico, even though I go up to Albuquerque quite a few times, I haven't been up there in a while, but you see people up there that, and they may recognize you once in a while, but then they'll tell you, "Oh man, I used to can't stand you, man. But what are you drinking? What are you having? There's always one to shake your hand, and it's all in the art of competition, and I think it was a lot of. I think the Lobos pushed us. We wanted to be great, and we was always. I was always awesome to go up to the pit and go in there and have all these Albuquerque fans yell at you and cheer at you, but it's all part of the game, Henry, and we were blessed that we kind of breezed through there, and to be able to sit here and say, hey man, I'm part of that. It's like I said, it doesn't make you any better, Henry. It just gives you you recognize a blessing that you had that came along with your efforts that you had throughout the years.
I have been suggested, the idea is out there, because your group of 1970, New Mexico State, the Aggies under Lou Henson, it's just one of those teams, it's one of those mandates, as the people are telling me now, that entire starting five, at least, and I've heard some go beyond that the entire team should be in the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, but at least the starting five. What do you think of that idea?
Well, Henry, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. It's not just, and I'm sure the other ball players now, if they could communicate with you, they'll tell you the same thing that I'm about to say. It wasn't just the starting five, Henry. It was the other guys that pushed us in practice, and we were all part of it, because some of these, for practices back then, there were we used to get crowds in the Pan American Center when Coach Henson would allow it, just for our practices. And I would hate to separate the starters from, we're mostly on the court, but the role players, also the ones also pushed us to where we consider them part of all of us. We're all one. And you ask any of the other guys, and they'll tell you the same thing, because we have some awesome reserves that came in, and everybody took over. And I think we didn't let anybody, we didn't get on anybody. We encouraged them on the other hand. We just made them feel like, hey, we're all part of this, and it's always, like I said, it's not just the five, Henry. I think it's the whole team and the coaches. They didn't let you. One thing I can always tell you is that our practices were something to behold. You didn't. You always had to pay attention, and you did it for a purpose. They said, okay, it's free throw time. Well, you know what? He didn't want you to miss one free throw. That's what we hear at practices. And the coaches say they're giving you a free throw that says, gotta make those, and they're doing all these things. That's what the practice was for, and he encouraged us to really concentrate. And I think the most important thing about everything is because of the tutelage that he gave us and the way they coached us, we developed a strong work ethic. And along the work ethic, you develop a strong character. And then eventually that went on. Once you finish playing your career, you go on and you become productive citizens out in the business world and the regular world, as you would say. And that always helped us, and I've always said this, that I was very blessed that I was able to, because my career ended up in Mexico. I played on the Olympic team in the Pan American Games, and wherever I traveled, it seemed that I always had a little sense of confidence that I always felt I had, because it was something that was instilled in me as a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, 19-year-old in New Mexico State that Coach Anthony instilled in us, that you develop a strong, an emotionally, physical, and mentally just a strong confidence that you're doing the right thing. And once you do that, you can't really go wrong. You're not going to win all the games, but do your best, and that's what Coach Anthony used to do. Just do it the right way, and you odds are you're going to do something good. You're going to have good results.
Well, it's like there's another week of Christmas for you former Aggie stars, because we're going to have December the 25th, but we're going to have the whole month of March to recall your great team at Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Yeah.
And if there was ever a community that got put on the map, it was Las Cruces, New Mexico State. Wow. You mean from Las Cruces, everybody knew where New Mexico State was. Even more so throughout these years, in my opinion, than where is the University of New Mexico from? Well, there's their basketball team. What's the name of their town?
Yeah.
That's something to say, because everybody knows Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Know that.
Henry, I tell you what, when it was time, we advanced. I think we beat Rice University, and then we beat Drake and Kansas, and we advanced. Now we're going to go to the airport to take our flight, and now we're going to fly to College Park, Maryland. Well, there was a big caravan from Las Cruces all the way to El Paso, because we had to take the flight out of El Paso. And so it was just one of those things that the people from Las Cruces had it was a big, long caravan that escorted us to El Paso. And that's how the people were so excited. They were, and it meant a lot to them. They were so anxious. And they said that day, that first game we played UCLA in the semifinals, there was like a ghost town in town. Everybody was inside their house watching the game, and that meant a lot to all of us. So, like I said, Henry, as the years go by, it just becomes even greater, because you always come up right now. The phone calls start coming in, and just enjoy it, just relish this blessing that we have.
And it was only 4 years prior to your great team in '70 that the UTEP Miners won the whole banana in 1966.
Yeah.
Texas Western with all those great players. And you knew all those great players.
Yeah. Yeah. Back then, of course, the Lobos and and the minors, and we there was a big strong basketball presence, national presence, or just in the Southwest with the Lobos and the minors and the Aggies. And when the UTEP minors won the championship, it meant a lot to, I was still in, I was my last year in high school, but when we got back there, there were still the guys were hanging around the area of El Paso, so they would the friends from El Paso would go to Las Cruces, and all the guys we knew each other, and so we were so proud of them because they made, of course, they made that movie about them,
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that you're proud, and we're all a big family that because even the Lobos, the Aggies, and the miners, that was a proud era for our university. And I tell you what, when UTEP won this, the town was crazy in El Paso, but even the people in Las Cruces were proud. Our neighbors were the national champions, and that's the way it was back then.
Miles apart, 40 miles apart, a national champion right
Yeah.
next door.
Yeah.
And then you guys, 4 years later, heading down that same path. Who knows? Could it happen again?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. We were that close. We were that lucky. But back then, Henry, the West, the best of the West would come out, and it was against the best of the East. And it was unfortunate that UCLA was in the West, and we always ran into them. So for that, was actually our game against UCLA was like the national championship, and everybody was saying. So then the next game, somehow we went on and we rolled over St. Bonaventure. That wasn't even close, So, but like I said, you can't complain. We were there with them, and so can't beat that.
And I tell you, so many people tell me about that game against UCLA that had Big Sam Lacey
Yeah.
have hurt a leg in that game, that you were a better team than the Bruins.
Yes, I believe so. And like I said, you always say, what if, but it's like losing your strong weapon that we had that counteract their strong guys. So we had to make do with what we did. We fought, but the thing is, what would happen if Sam would have been in there? Because these guys had a tendency to take over at the end of the game. Sam, Jimmy, and Charlie, the stars used to plug in and, okay, it's game time. And that's when they weren't around at the end of the game.
What happened to Sam in the game?
I'm sorry?
What happened to Sam Lacey?
He twisted his ankle. And then he would try to come on, but he just couldn't. It just swelled up on him right away, and he just couldn't get back on his feet. So we had to do, and coach wasn't just going to put him in there just to hurt him, because he had a big career ahead of him. So
yeah.
Well,
what do you think? This bottom line is for all those people that suggest to me that Aggie team entirely should be inducted into the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. Give me your heart feeling.
Well, Henry, it would be quite an honor, of course, but I'll tell you what, I just as the feedback that you get from all the people every time you go, even in Albuquerque, you can go to like Lordsburg, Deming, anywhere in New Mexico, and people always remember those days. And like I said, it was like one of those moments, special moments, that is a special event, not just for the town, but for the state. And I think that's one of the little prizes, the little bright spots that you'll always have with the state of New Mexico. When you talk about it, they'll know that Aggie team did something special for not just, like I said, not just for the southern part, but for the northern part. And I think as far as sports are concerned, and not just basketball, as far as sports are concerned, that to be able to do that on the national stage and to be like that, it became a pretty proud moment for the state. And I think it would be quite an honor for all of us, for all of us, it would be quite an honor.
Wow. Well, let's see what happens, because I know.
Fingers crossed.
What?
And keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully it'll go, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly deserving. There are
Okay.
other teams themselves that collectively together they're inducted into the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, and this would really be a blessing for all of you guys. And the
Yeah.
way you've gathered together to reunite your camaraderie in
Yeah.
recent years at the Pan American Center in Las Cruces, all that love coming together again. And Coach Henson happened to be at that last get together, and of course the Lord took him this year.
Yeah.
But I sure hope that happens for you guys.
Yeah.
And
Hopefully it'd be quite an honor, Henry.
it's March Madness, man. It's time for you to put on that extra uniform, that extra game face, and feel the part again, because it's going to be a big show. Differently because of the COVID, they'll be in that bubble in Indianapolis, Indiana. But it's the big tournament. No matter how they have it, I'll be watching. How about you?
It's an honor for each and every ball player to be on there. You see everybody jump up and down when they won their tournaments. That's how big it is, Henry. And to say at least you played in one of those, just in any one of those, just in one game, you know, and to say that you like I said, one of these basketball players, you to play in one game in the big dance. That we were fortunate. We got to play 9. We played in 9 at March Madness games. So it's just like I said, it's a proud moment for all the ball players. It's a big deal. So being honored it's an honor. Special time of the year, Henry.
Amen. As we get ready to move on, we're going to have on Marvin Johnson after you today. Of course, you and Marvin are much the same kind of player, smooth as silk, high
I remember Marvin.
release, bottom of the net, and the way that net used to snap when you throw up that smooth jumper. Is there a sight even closer to that big white net, and then you can hear the pop?
Yep.
Wow, when the ball goes through. What's that like, Chito?
Yeah, be sure. You know, a lot of that stuff, Henry, at that stage, and you know what you say. Sometimes it's just your muscle memory that you don't even think about it. Your body reacts, and you just see your arm get a certain motion, and that's just it's just a body a natural thing that comes on. And to see that ball go through the net, okay, that's all right. Then you go back down. It's just a good deal. Very proud moment for that.
And one of these days, they're going to go into your annuals of files of photographs and recordings or whatever you have that are mementos from those great games.
Yeah.
I bet you got some hidden photographs in the corner over here.
Oh, yeah.
Or in this corner, number 52.
We used to wear those Daisy Duke shorts, all the little tight shorts we used to wear. But and now you see all these baggy ones. I wonder what we would have looked like with baggy shorts. But we had those Daisy Dukes, the tight shorts we had.
Yeah.
But it was all good, Henry. All good.
All part of it, man. And even to this day, ladies and gentlemen, Chito shakes hands, sign autographs. To this day, people send a mail. Chito, I just ran across this photograph of you. Would you sign it and send it back to me? And then, man, as quick as these computers are today, bang, a copy quickly on the internet, and the recipient has it that quick. Incredible. What do you want to say to us before we move on today, Chito?
Well, Henry, I just want to, once again, I keep repeating this, that to be in a situation like this and at this stage in our life, you know, to be able to reap the fruits of our labors and to be blessed with having one of these fruits part as March Madness, the Final Four, and you know, not only that, but I'll play in the Olympics, and it's just an honor, and I feel blessed. And like I said, to thank the people and thank you for bringing this back up again, and thank all the people that supported us. And it makes them feel good, but that's what it counts. That's what it all matters. If you can be good to people and it makes them feel good, Henry, because that's what it's all about. It's not just about us, because without our friends or family and fans, what do we have? We need everybody. And so to all the fans and relatives, everybody out there who supported us, thank you. Thank you for so much for allowing me to be here. Yeah.
Well, Aggie Nation's reborn again.
Yep. That's good. Thank you, Henry.
Through this exciting medium of computer life and social media has brought all Aggie Nation together again. Man, like you say, people all over Barcelona, Tuscany, Italy, Aggie fans out there contacting Henry T. What a thrill to represent the great Aggies of 1970. And who knows is going to rise up from this. Maybe next year, you and I will broadcast an Aggie game together. Would that be a thrill?
Oh, that'll work. That'll be so awesome. You've been come around full circle to be part of that. That's great.
We'll get it done. Hey, well, I'll see you later. We're going to go on and talk to Marvin Johnson.
Tell Marvin I said hello. Yeah.
Give me one sentence of what you remember about Marvin.
You know what? I just remember that he was the focal point of the defenses. When he talked about the Lobos, you had to talk about Marvin Johnson, and deservedly so. Tough man, tough attitude, and then to be where he was, to be the focal point of your opponents, that's something, So that's good. Just tell him I said hello and best wishes to all of you.
Chito, take care, buddy.
You got it, my friend. Thank you very much for everything.
Amen.
Okay. All right, then.
Chito Reyes, number 52 in the program, number 1 in your heart, Chito Reyes.
Thanks, Henry. Okay.
Man.
Bye now.
Our sponsors today for the Chito Reyes show are, again, Amastroy Drywall. We have Rax and Richie Tabit out there. Of course, Amastroy family, great family, Pierre Sr., Jr., and Adam, the younger man in the family. Great family. Baseball players, all of them stars. The Hydro Bar with Tim Baca and Kevin out there at the canteen. And Indigo Mortgage, Ben Lucero. Nobody does that mortgage business better than Ben. Give him a hello, say hi to him, and thank him for putting all these great stories on the radio. Now let's go back and do an encore with the great Marvin Johnson, former Lobo basketball star. Here's that interview. Marvin Johnson. Wow, is all I can say. There's no other adjective for Henry T right now, because we hear the word legend a lot in our community. But I tell you what, today we can put an exclamation point next to the word legend, all caps, and introduce my guest. And you've heard the expression, he needs no introduction. Marvin Johnson, how are you, buddy?
Good, Henry. How you doing?
Man, I could shake your hand, but the governor would be here with the state police. I can't shake your hand today, man.
Yeah, it's a new world, I tell you. It's
Is
a new
it
world.
crazy?
Yeah. Something we got to deal with, so we got to deal with it to get through it. As they say, we get through it together.
What a thrill for me as a professional to reunite with a guy I grew up with. Right out of college, they said, Henry T, you're the voice of the Lobos. And I said, really?
Yeah.
And I'm there stumbling and fumbling, but I got to meet you and Michael Cooper and Willie Howard and Phil Abney and all of them. And what a year, huh? 24, 25-4, 13-1 in the WAC, and a special night, March 2nd, 1978, 18,101 fans. What a night.
Yeah.
And you were there with 50 points.
I was there.
Still the school single game scoring record. How often do you have to recall that story?
A couple of times a week at least. 40 years down the road, people, Lobo fans here, and they remember that night.
Yeah. Well, tell me about that night. I mean, the day you wake up and you go through your regular stuff.
Yeah. I go through my routine. You have your routine you go through. And actually that day I was kind of coughing, had a little, in the beginning of March. And so I was kind of had a cold. It wasn't a cold that was going to keep me from playing, but, I had some sniffles. And I, playing Colorado State. I think we had to win the game to clinch. And just went out and, nothing special than what I normally did. It's just one of those nights where, like they say, the perfect storm happened.
Wow. And what a mistake. I don't mind underlining the word mistake in caps, too. To take out 4,000 seats out of that unique, unbelievable arena known throughout the world, and some guy comes along here and takes 4,000 seats out of that famous place. It's not the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same. I mean, we've lost so many NCAA games that would have been here if we'd had 18,000, and they hardly ever come anymore because, you need a minimum number. We had 18,000. When I was at UNM, we were first and second in attendance in the nation.
Every year.
Every year. We were second in the nation as a team that year. So, I mean, it was that year. Remember the slogan? Make it happen.
Amen. And
you made it happen. Yeah.
You made it happen.
Right.
It ended with a heartbreak, but I tell you, there were so many thrills in that season, Marvin. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was.
Finish the description of that day, that night, how you felt coming down the ramp. Look up, it's full.
Yeah. Oh, that's always the adrenaline rush. You get it. You're coming down the ramp there. The earlier that year I had broke Ben Monroe's record in December. He had a record of 45, and I scored 48 against Kentucky State. So I actually set the record and broke it in the same year within a 2-month period.
Wow.
So it was twice that year I had 48. One night game I had 48, and then, like I say, 2 or 3 months later I had the 50. And this was before the 3-point line.
How many for Marvin had we had the 3-point scoring line? How many do you think? How many do you think?
I think 65. You probably ask me another, 3 or 4 years down the road, I'll probably tell you 70. As you get older, the legend grows.
You were smooth, though.
Yeah, probably been about 65. Just the shots that I took. If we had a 3 and you could take threes, I don't know, what it would have been. But probably realistically, probably 65.
Flynn Robinson, Wyoming, a great player, but way before Marvin. And you knew you were 2 points away from having your own record.
Right.
And it was a special moment, as you recall. All right? Coops got the ball.
Yeah, get him, Marv. Get Marvin the ball. Get him the ball. Yeah.
2 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
You're near the top of the key.
Uh-huh.
I can see it. And you delivered the most beautiful jump shot of all time. It was so clean. It ripped that net down.
Yeah, I left the game with like a minute, 40 seconds still in the game.
To get the standing O.
Yeah. So, if I'd have stayed in, I might have had, who knows, another 4 or 5 points.
And it still stands
after
to
all
this day.
Yeah.
Even though there's a 3-point shot.
Right.
Tough
it's a close 3-point shot. College is a close 3-point shot. So, I'm amazed that it's still there. Yeah, it's close. And at one point, it was closer than that. When it first came out, it was probably, 6 inches closer.
To own that record, to own all those great memories of that incredible season, and you were there, What does all that Lobo era mean to you?
Oh, it was part of my life, part of growing up. As you look back on it, now that I'm 63, you're looking back on your life when you're growing up. Yeah, that was one of the highlights of my life. Was that night? It was great. I mean, and I still do basketball programs, training and stuff with children, and that helps to get me in the door. The parents, the grandparents know me and say, yeah, oh yeah, he's good. These guys today that would like him. So they remember me, and it helps with my getting my foot in the door and get some credibility. People know my name, and we.
Wow. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll never forget, that was my rookie year as the voice of the Lobos, a broadcaster, and I inherit this team at UNM.
Yeah.
Storm and Norman, flamboyant and long hair and turquoise and all his legendary stuff. What a remarkable entertainer. And he loved you, Marvin.
Yeah.
The last time I had you on the radio with me when I was over at ESPN,
right,
and I had you and Coach on,
right,
he cried that day.
Yeah. He came and got me up from Texas. Sent John Wisner over there, and we can't. He had a tough year that year before. Remember, he had the team just walked out on him.
Yeah,
they walked out on him, and he said he had to have me to be a part of the program. I thought it was just coaching and stuff, but he really felt it. He was great as a coach.
What bottom lined it? Why did you come here?
Well, I was looking for a place that I could come to play. I left for junior college, and when I left that junior college, I was the leading scorer in the nation. I averaged 35 points a game. Coming here from Howard County Junior College in Big Spring, Texas. So I wanted to play right away, and I knew I could come here and really have to compete for it. I was competing against Steve Davis, and Coach Wisner told me, yeah, you can, somebody in that spot. Steve Davis is a guy you can come here, and we think you can beat him out. If you can't beat him out, then you're not what we think you are.
Wow.
He said he's a hard-nosed guy. He can go here. He said, he said it's this white guy here named Steve Davis, white boy here named Steve Davis. He's a hard-nosed player. We think if you can beat him out, we're what you think you are. If
and
you can't, then you're not. Steve was tough. Steve pushed me. Oh yeah, he did. He was tough. Tough-nosed guy. Yep.
To play with Coop, your longtime forever friend.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are magical together. Willie Howard, athleticism like maybe I've never seen.
Yeah.
Jimmy Allen.
Right.
Abney Saunders.
Yeah. Mark Felix.
Jimmy
Allen.
From
That's
East
part of the nucleus team. Yeah. Yeah. It was,
how good were you guys?
Yeah,
Tell me. Bottom line.
We were good. I mean, we knew we were good after we were up against Syracuse University. They were number 1 in the country at that time. And we played them in our Christmas tournament. Our Christmas tournament used to be a big deal.
Yeah.
And we played them and should have beat them. And we knew then that, we could do something if we,
As the season progressed, the whole nation was looking at the Lobos. Right. You couldn't buy a ticket. You couldn't steal a ticket to watch the Lobos.
Right.
But the whole nation was watching this team. Yeah, that
was back in the days. It was like only 2 poles. There was only, you could get the games. They weren't everywhere all the time like they are now. So, yeah, when they focused on you, it was the whole nation.
Yeah, all the pundits, all the experts were saying, keep your eyes on New Mexico.
Yeah, we were picked to come out of the West to play. We were in the West, and we were going to go back and play Kentucky, was going to be the team we played in the first round. And everybody was talking about that. And that's probably what happened to us over at Cal State Fullerton. We were looking forward to that and not taking care of business at hand. We're looking too far down the road, and they slipped up on us at night and they beat us by 3. That was a heartbreak.
The game at Tempe with Cal State Fullerton.
Sure.
Biggest heartbreak I think I've ever had in my profession was that afternoon. Arizona State University gymnasium was all turquoise and cherry and silver.
Yeah.
It was all Lobos.
Yeah. We took it over.
And on the way there, man, beep, 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 Lobo fans honking, going by, signs everywhere. Unbelievable, make it happen stickers.
Make it happen everywhere, yeah. Yeah, you hope for that that can come back now. Let's see what this year brings, and hopefully, they can get back to that kind of excitement here.
I hope so.
We need it.
What do you think of the current era?
It's just it's not it's too erratic. This is when you get a spread, you think everything is turning around, and then falls back, goes 2 steps forward, 4 steps back, and
Wow.
I'm not. It's too much to me. It's too much turnover in personnel, so I'm not sure what is the cause of that.
Yeah, I got to fix that.
Because they've had great athletes. They've had some great athletes. It's from my observation.
Let's finish that early part. We get upset by Fullerton. The season's overall crying 99 tears on the way home. Unbelievable.
Right.
How did you feel that day?
It's like it was a nightmare. A nightmare that lasted probably about a week or 10 days. It's unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that hurt.
And during the season when you're playing a game and you lose a game, you could always focus on the next game. Get you out of that. But that was the last game of our season. That was the last game of our college career. There's nothing you could do but just reminisce about if this, if that, or man, what?
And you could feel Final Four, could you not?
Oh yeah, we had been living in our minds. We had been, we should have been there, but we didn't take care of business at hand.
Oh. Well, then, season's over. Now they offer you a contract. The NBA came calling. What happened?
I went to Chicago. And if you remember back in that time when I finished school, the NBA was, this is how popular it was. It was videotape delayed at 10:30 at night. They were averaging 5,000 fans per game. They didn't even know if the NBA was going to make it. So, life is about timing. And that was the timing as far as my basketball career goes. Timing was bad because they had the ABA at that time.
Mm-hmm.
The ABA had folded, and so 4 or 5 veterans came to that team, and you could only have 11 men on the team at that time because, there was no money. They thought the NBA was going to fold. So everybody had a no-cut contract when I went to camp. So there was no way I was going to make the team. Everybody had a no-cut contract. And so you just got, like I said, timing, got caught up in the wrong situation.
And wrong team?
Well, I think it was the wrong team for me because they were a slowdown team. They were a deliberate team. They had a guy named Artis Gilmore, a big, everybody that was in the days would pound the ball, get it to the big man. You take 15 seconds up to 24-second clock to get him set up, and that wasn't my style. I was hoping I would have got drafted by Boston or somebody like that at that time, up and down team. It just, that's like I said, that's life's the flow of life. It just happened like that way. So, and then I tweaked my knee a little bit, and then it was just.
You're celebrity in this state, probably nationwide when they hear your name. But in this state today, I was at the pit watching you still sign autographs.
Yeah, people
come on, man.
Yeah, people, like I say, people, especially young kids, their parents and grandparents know that's about Marvin Johnson. They say, who's that? He said, well, he scored 50. So the kids, 50 points.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, sure, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And they have you guys come out from the past teams, and they give your name, and you get the loudest cheer every time. That's gotta feel great.
Yeah. People remember that night. Yeah, and I've been around. I got a lot of alumni that's been through our program with basketball. So people
today
people still remember.
You're successful, giving and giving and giving. That's all you've done in your lifetime is made a difference in people's lives, especially kids.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on today?
Well, in my philosophy, you just try to, when you see someone, you want to try to make them feel better than it was before they met you. So, you put you putting your best foot forward, and someone asks me a question or about something, I'll try to give them what I think it is or whatever. Just try to stay positive in life.
All right, I just bought some brand new sneakers, got a brand new ball. We'll go down in the pit. Nobody there, but maybe Paul Weir, Marvin, and Henry T. We'll play to 20 baskets, not points, baskets.
Yeah.
What are my chances, Marvin?
You believe? See what this shirt I have on, Henry?
Yeah.
That's our logo in our program. BYI. Believe in yourself.
Wow.
That's where everything starts right there. So you believe in yourself, you can do it.
Come on, man. There are some things that are impossible. That's one of them. I will not put up Henry T's skills in horse, pig, or whatever we play. to this man. You still have it? Seriously.
Yeah, well, I still have a shot. I mean, I'm a designated shooter. Just put me in the spot and just let me, a designated pitcher and a special.
Beautiful switch shots.
Still shoot. Yeah. You sure? I don't play like games and stuff, but I do. Like with the, with the program, of course, you got to demonstrate. So I can still do that. I'm still able to do that.
Has there ever been like a time where you had to, like in front of a student body, be Marvin Johnson again, and you get out there and they're expecting you to make that basket,
right,
and the pressure's on?
Yeah. So a couple of times I hadn't played for a while, and then I was at a deal. I had shot for a while. Man, I clanged about 3 in a row before. He ain't automatic. I said, yeah, that's right. I'm semi-automatic now.
Mark Felix, Mike Stewart, Delinsky. I mean, all those great names of the Lobo era that you were in.
Mm-hmm.
You stay in touch with those guys? Because they're still the beloved Lobo team of all time.
Yeah, a lot of people think our team was probably the best team that's been here up to this point. But I see you guys around. Actually, about 2 months ago, I ran into Rich Pekorski. I was leaving. I go to the gym, and he was out walking, and when I left the gym, I took a walk, and I passed him, and he came back and asked me if it was Marvin, and I recognized him. So you see guys like that, run into them around town, but like Cooper, I hadn't talked to Cooper in probably a couple of years. I think he's in Pasadena, California.
Yeah. You have a special relationship with Coop?
Yeah, when I see him, everything's cool. Yeah.
You reminisce?
No, just kind of catch up on where we've been, what we're doing, stuff like that. But when you like that, you don't have to say words.
Did you marvel at his success?
Oh, absolutely. All those 5 championships, that was unbelievable. He had an unbelievable career.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had a great career coaching as well. I mean,
he went to the right spot for him.
He went home, and that was great. And the team needed what he had to play. It was his style, and he made it happen.
If they'd have sent you to play with Maravich, could you have hung in there?
Maravich, was he? I don't know if he was at Boston at that time.
He was with the Jazz.
The Jazz. Oh, I don't remember the Jazz. I don't remember their style of play.
But that would have been back home.
That would have been better. Yeah, I'm in Louisiana. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would have helped, sure. Yeah, but like I say, just played out like it played.
Well, I know you're under some time restrictions today, but there'll be a day when we can bring you back, and we'll have Coop right there and you right here, and I don't know, Jimmy Allen over here, but it would be another thrill for me professionally to meet with you guys again.
Yeah, well, you can make it happen.
Hey, and you know what? As we look back, I was a rookie.
Yeah.
But you guys made me into a veteran.
You were.
I had to be.
You're a legend. You're a legend around here. Speaking of legends, you're Henry T., the legend. You in that category, too.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Well, I'm going to let you go. But what a thrill. We can't shake hands as we part today. But how about a little helping hand, motivational paragraph for the team that's here today? Without 18,000, only 14,000 watch Paul Weir's team. What do you think of the immediate future for Lobo basketball?
Well, Lobo basketball, I like I said, 2 or 3 guys have left the team since they finished the season. So I don't know who's there. I don't know who's been brought in. So it's only just a hope that, whatever the turnover, like I said, my biggest deal with them, with the Lobos, my biggest deal is, number one, is I don't think the players know their role. A lot of players are lacking the knowledge of what they do, what their lane is. There are too many. Everybody doesn't know their role on the team, and the turnover as far as personnel, people coming and going, and they're not able to gel. Like I say, for a couple of games, they look like they have it together, and all of a sudden somebody will get kicked off the team or do something wrong, get kicked off, and then they're not speaking. And this guy is, I'm not sure what's going on. Somebody
What do you say to your fans right now as you depart and leave us here today? Because they appreciate you. Do you appreciate them?
Oh yeah, I would just say thanks for all the support when I was at UNM and all the years since I've left there. That people, like I say, the most obvious is the kids that come to my program, the parents that send them, really appreciate it. Our program will get started again once APS is back in session. We're on hold right now because of the pandemic. So we'll be, as soon as we get the go-ahead from APS, rules are in place or whatever we have to do to make everybody safe. We're not going to open until everybody is safe and we can do the best job we can as far as people's safety, and we just have to wait to see what happens.
Finally, I'm writing a book. It's about Coach Norm Ellenberger, and he loved you. He loved that team.
He was that team.
Cried when you talk about that team.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Coach Norman? I remember one practice you guys hated him because he was a tough practice coach.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was all about preparation. You prepare on the floor. Once the game time started, it's just, you just kind of tweak things here and there, but you got ready. You play the way you practice the way you play. That was one of his favorite sayings. If you play it hard every time you're on the floor in practice, it's easily going to happen in a game. If you take it seriously in practice, you're going to take it seriously in a game. So he was a great coach. A lot of players go to college and they're looking for like a father figure to do this and be a coach. Norm wasn't that. Norm was a great basketball coach, and I appreciate that. He taught me the game. He's been the most influential coach in my throughout my basketball career.
Last statement. Bobby Knight shared with me, when there's a minute left in the game, we get a timeout. You want a coach to win the game for you in 1 minute with some strategy? He said Norm Ellenberger was one of the greatest ever. You were in that situation many times.
Yeah.
Was he a brilliant coach under pressure?
Yeah, he was. I would agree with Bobby Knight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go have a great day. You made our day.
Yeah. Well, you have a great day too, Henry. I appreciate you having me.
Wow.
Look forward to the next time.
We will do it, and we'll do it even better, and we'll have a couple of buddies with you next time.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Just everybody out there, be safe and, take care of yourself the best you can and try not to live in fear.
Do not live in fear.
Don't live in fear.
Hey, helping hand. We got 20 seconds. You got a camp coming up. We need to sign up.
Yeah, no, we don't have anything yet because everything is on hold. Everything is TBA.
But heads
to be
up.
announced. But we just waiting to where we can run a gym from APS. APS has all their facilities closed right now.
All right. Pretend high five.
Bam!
Marvin Johnson, what a thrill for Henry T. to have Mr. Automatic with all of us today. See you later. This is Henry T. GameFace Live. We're rising up, and we're in competition, so be paying attention and spread the word that Henry T. is making the comeback right here. Thanks again, Marvin.
Yeah, thank you, Henry. All the best with your comeback.
Thank you, man.
You can do it. Hang in there.
See you later.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.